Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Civilization 3. This time I'm changing it up just a little bit. I didn't know what to play today, and it's Saturday, so I figured I'd continue where I left off, right? On my Civilization game, for Age of Imperialism. Um, yeah, we're still at war with Japan right now, just cleaning up this part of Japan, and seeing if we can't snag a few more cities over here in Asia. I am eventually going to try to infiltrate into the Chinese territory and handle the Chinese. Um, yeah, that's the plan today, honestly, is to just clean up down here and move on to the next. On to the next. And yeah, it's going to be a very kind of relaxing kind of video today. Um, Especially since Civilization 3 is personally one of my favorite casual games that I like to play. Uh, Honestly, I prefer Civilization over a lot of games, but I know some Civilization games like this are generally mixed on YouTube anyway. Um, don't really see too many Civilization 3 videos except for probably one channel that I do know, which I forgot the name. My bad, but I know he plays it a lot and does quite a few videos on it. Does multiplayer too, which I never do. I never done multiplayer for Civilization 3. It's just never really occurred to me that it's an option. Especially since I haven't really thought about it since like 2007, I think, or 2008. My dad did a lot of that. I didn't. So yeah, it's one of those. I know it exists, but I generally don't think about it existing. I don't generally think about it existing. Um, and I don't think I could ever do the multiplayer unless there's a lot of people that watch my videos uh, want to. Beyond that, I don't really think about it. Um, so yeah, right now I'm gonna take my navy here and move up to what is it? Uh, what was that city? Um, Hold on, let me go check again. Uh, Niigata. I think is how you say Niigata. Gonna head over to Niigata, and yeah, see if we can't get that place bombarded and while all the navy here at Ryukyu Islands are and over here in Sendai, as long as they keep distracted with that city, I can definitely move my navy around pretty freely. Uh, I am thinking about playing other games for the channel. Obviously, I play a lot of Turtle WoW. I'm still doing Turtle WoW. That's a given. I'm right now thinking about doing another video today for Turtle WoW while I'm posting this up in between, just so that I have a flow, a break in the flow, so that people don't honestly think that I play one game all the time or two games all the time. I like to play a lot of different games, and I really like to show these games off, right? I think the games that I play are pretty fun. To me, maybe not to watch, but they're pretty fun to play, and that's what really matters, right? that that's what really matters is that it's fun to watch. But at the same time, I like to play for my own personal entertainment. So yeah, um, gonna give me one quick minute and jump right into it again. Alright, that's handled. Just something off screen, had to deal and do and stuff. My bad. Alright, back to the game. Right? Let's see. Trying to keep an eye on where all my my units are. Look that up. And should I take a Gatling battery? Yeah. Why not? We'll sail this ship all the way over here and down there. I wonder if I can get any city? No? No city. And no. Alright, also, if you notice that I took off the music for this one, I did it because I did get a little copyright. I mean, it allowed it, but the last thing I need is one of these songs on here to give me a copyright strike. So, I'm definitely going to be playing it safe right now. Got the X-ray machine. Now, wonders in this mod give free tech. All wonders. So great scientific wonders or great engineering feats do give free tech. So that's one of the biggest reasons why I do the big chain that I did, was so that I can make sure that I can get these wonders and stuff. Because it definitely makes it easier to get through my tech tree, get to the end of the tech tree, and all that fun stuff. Now we drop the hammer on Niigata. And take the city. And are poised to take the city. Now I got warned because there is a cavalry unit running around, and it can make things a little difficult. Sometimes. sometimes it can be a little difficult to mess around with. The AI isn't that advanced, but it can still be a pain. So, something to keep note of. Now, I'm pretty sure Okinawa, Iwo Jima are very lightly defended. I think Ryukyu Islands is a little defended. I know Taiwan is heavily defended because it's considered a major city like these up here and not a colony city like these down here. Now, I'm pretty sure this cavalry unit is trying to take back Kagoshima. So I'm definitely going to try and keep an eye on that. um, hmm. Thankfully, Japan being a very much island nation with all of its cities being coastal, can make for an easy bombardment. Don't need a whole lot of artillery. Just need a navy. Yeah, I can tell he's going to take that down here to try and take Kagoshima back. All this navy that they're producing, just attacking that one city. The AI makes it very, very abundant, blatantly clear of its motive. Now it's moving its navy back because that unit failed. Alright. Obviously, I've got bigger plans after Japan. After wounding down Japan, I am going to probably be moving into China and then eventually into Spain. Just to get the Philippines, Cuba, and stuff like that. Maybe if I'm lucky enough, I can get a city in Europe and build up around it. I think that would be probably a good idea. Because eventually, the goal obviously is to take as much territory and land as possible. But at least for conquest. At least for conquest. Which is what I prefer to do. I don't like any of the other victory conditions. The other victory conditions are very, very boring. Unless you're really dedicated to it, there's no real reason to play anything other than Conquest. I did not know he had a second cavalry. That's a pain. Let's see. think we'll go with a stock exchange for this one. And then go back to making ships. More money. Makes the game a bit easier and faster ish. Obviously, I want to convert all the. Well, it says convert, but it's not. It's just speeding up the hurry production. Yeah. Yep. Still a huge Navy presence in Ryukyu Islands. Now, what makes America very hard to fight in the early game sometimes can make it hard for a fight. I find it not that difficult, but I understand people do find it difficult. Um, is the Gatling gun batteries. So Gatling gun batteries are a precursor unit to the Maxim machine gun, which is the biggest heavy defender in the mod, the Maxim machine guns, which would later become MG42s and all that kind of stuff, like the mounted guns. And this mod very much reliant on it. Well, not necessarily reliant, but the AI tends to be very reliant on them. Of course, it doesn't really take a lot to take them down, but their high defense does make it very, very challenging to try to maintain that. It looks like the Japanese are moving its navy into this port. So I'll give a free couple kills. There we go. Is there any more in the port? Nope, no more in the port. Well, not yet. Now, the brigade riflemen, like these, on these little islands over here, they're very, very, very weak units. So, there's nothing to really be, like, worried about with them because of that fact. But I guess it can sometimes be a pain. to mess with. They only have one attack, and like the rest is all in defense. So it's not necessarily, you know, very challenging to resolve the issue, to resolve any of the conflicting issues and stuff. Actually, I'm going to take all of these troops out of the transport because if the Ryukyu Navy comes down and sinks these transport ships, uh, they will lose all of the units they had on it, and that can be pretty rough. I'm going to take this ship up to the north here and open up this and then have them all come off the ship. That way, when the Navy sinks that transport, it's not going to it's not going to destroy any of my units. I could sacrifice transport ships because they only take a turn or 2 turns max to rebuild. So I'm not gonna cry over it. Crying over sunk transport ships, but it does take the pressure off when they get distracted like that. Now, yeah, now the AI moved that unit back because the Navy is not going to be there to support them. So that's one of the biggest reasons why I placed it there. Now, colonies in this mod don't really offer a whole lot. Colonial troops and resources, raw materials for the uh, point victory, the score point victory, which I don't really like because it's very boring. I mean, I guess there are some people out there that like it, but I don't, generally speaking. I find it very tedious just to sit back and just bring stuff home for points. It just doesn't appeal to me. I guess. I'm a conqueror at heart, I guess. If I just, you know, conquer the world, then I won't have to worry about the other victories, right? So for the victories and stuff, it's obviously by world population. The space race is not that; it is the point system, which is using the raw resources and stuff, and turning that in. Eliminating rivals, which is conquest, just destroying everybody. There's no limit to it unless you're like the only person left. And of course, you can win by turn. There's no wonder victory and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, it's not very hard to stay on top because the player obviously has the leeway. um, has the advantage. But it's always, it's simple. It's a very very simple game, a very simple mod for a very very simple game. You know, all it really asks of you is to have fun, and that's it. There is no gimmick. There is no beating around the bush type of system. It's literally the game is a sandbox kind of game, sandboxy kind of game. So it doesn't require like a lot to really play or win. All mods are relatively the same. I don't think I've ever seen a Civilization 3 mod with a gimmick for a victory. At least not to my knowledge, anyway. So, it's just to have fun. I am about to take Niigata, so that will be the second city I conquer. It does take a while. Well, it's not my second. Is it the third or the second city? I think it. I can't remember. I lost track. I'm very easily distracted. Um, yeah, it's not a hard time. Relatively easy. It's just patience. Now, when I start fighting things inland, that's when things start to become a little complicated in a way, uh, because the game has a lot of artillery, and it requires a lot of artillery to make tremendous gains. Kind of like real World War I, right? Artillery was the deciding factor, and then it was tanks that was the deciding factor. But even then, tanks were still weak. They weren't like what they are now. They used machine guns, not, large shells and calibers and stuff like that. So in this one, cavalry is king, and the artillery is the rook. But the real queen of the battlefield, so to speak, the real queen of the battlefield, so to speak, is ships. Your navy. Your navy can be massive, and it will make big strides, especially on the coast. Uh, the coastal war is definitely the biggest type of war, um, because it definitely it gives a lot to the offense. It's easier to take coastal cities in this mod than it is the inland, unless you make like 30 to 50 artillery units that could definitely level a city and all of its defenders down to 1 HP. Because that's like the only way they can ensure a victory is by making sure that every enemy in the city is at 1 HP. So it's definitely a big pain in the butt. But if you want an easier time, you gotta do it, you know? You can either have the easy way or the hard way, right? And the game doesn't really beat around the bush on that fact. So if you want to have a good time, it's easy. But if you really want to have like no issues whatsoever, get ready for pain because you're gonna need a lot of artillery to pay off. To really pay that off. Taking islands, fairly easy, fairly simple. Everything else, eh, it's a gamble. It is a gamble. Now I'm pretty sure I've blasted down to the last man. Yeah, thought I did. To the last man. And what I'm going to do is take this Gatlin battery, sit it in here, and then heal. And make sure that I'm healing. Alright, so I'm going to take my navy here, and I'm going to go around to the other end. I'll worry about Korea later. Right now, I'm going to focus on Tokyo. Now, I don't know how long it's going to take me to take Tokyo down, but I will need a combined navy from my South Fleet and my fleet here in Japan. I definitely need to make more ships. um, I might end up just leaving Tokyo alive, just because I know it's going to be a pain. But if I don't take it out sooner, then it's just going to become a nuisance later. So yeah, so it's one of those you gotta weigh your options and stuff like that. So definitely have to weigh the options out. What would be the better, you know, choice? Because it definitely it's either gonna pay off or it's just gonna become a problem later. And a lot of times it can definitely become a very much a problem for later. My culture is not connected with the north and the south because of Tokyo. So it's one of those, like, because they're not connected, sending troops between the north and the south is very much going to be like me invading again and again and again, and it just only lowers the reputation post victory, and Japan can retaliate very quickly because the AI is very much a retaliation kind of effort after a while. Like, declaring a war on Russia right now, I don't know if Russia's got any, like, help or have anybody in their back pocket that will help them in a fight. So it's definitely not worthwhile to pick a fight with a major nation like that at this point in the game, because it can definitely do that. Like, I'm sometimes like I'm not going to be ready to fight Spain in the mid game because I know he's going to have like 30 odd people on his side. You know, it will take a lot of time. So it's better to handle these issues early than later because of that pretty much primary reason. There is what I just discussed, what I've said. Now, fighting minor nations like China, Tibet, and any South American country, Central American country, it's definitely easier for me to do because they don't really have alliances with major nations until a little later in the game. They don't really offer anything, and most times, major nations won't even attack them. Well, technically, will attack them because of the score point system, since they're considered colonial minor powers, and we're colonial powers. It the AI will least likely ally with them because it's not worthwhile for them to stage alliances and things with a country they can easily just take over and benefit from. It's one of those. The AI knows that it can do it, and most times won't do it because of that reason. Why would they hurt their own advantages against the player by allying with the minor powers that can easily be conquered, and all that kind of stuff. So there's definitely a lot of code that's inside the mod. It's just not presented very well because of the sandboxy nature of the game and its unpredictability. Because sometimes you'd be surprised, a lot of major powers will call minor powers into war as fodder, which doesn't really hurt my feelings because I can easily just take them, and there'll be one less ally for the major power I'm fighting, which is it's a good way to get free territory. Um, yeah, it definitely becomes very 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 freeing when they like, for example, if I declare war on Spain and they call Mexico in, I'm just gonna take Mexico and just forget about it. I'll just steamroll them. Like, it's free kills, and I don't have to cause too many wars if I do it that way. And I won't get too much of a warmonger penalty because they were called into the war. So it's not really my problem or any other major nation's problem. Now, the Ryukyu Navy is sunk, so that makes it easy on me to just do the deed. Just take what I can. So, with the Japanese Navy being stunted the way it is now, and it's primarily up here, and it's just a few ships, it's pretty much easy game. Now, it is very much easy game now. The AI is very, very slow response to rebuilding its navy, and it doesn't generally rebuild its navy until post war, not during war, because it's focused primarily on ground troop development now to hold me back. That's why you don't see too many ships out and about, because I've because they won't rebuild them right away. And I think that's the AI. That AI's problem is that it's very slow response to building its navy or rebuilding its navy during time of war. That brings this little stopgap. Now, big majors like France and Britain with really massive navies can definitely hold its own in the face of that type of issue because it doesn't really, you know, bother them. They still produce a ton of ships. It's just they don't have to really worry about remaking ships when they already have like 50 to 100 ships already out at sea doing its missions and stuff, its maneuvers and military maneuvering. Um, so it's definitely one of those. They worry. The AI can worry about it, but will it worry about it? Probably not. And that's just the truth of that. Let's take this fleet here and move it up here. We're gonna try and take Ryukyu Islands off Japan, and then we'll move over to Taiwan. We'll take Taiwan. That leaves a gateway to China open. We'll use that to get into China. It should be relatively easy. Uh, uh, so yeah, that's we're gonna take Ryukyu Islands, and when I take Ryukyu Islands, I think we'll end the episode off on that note. And yeah, I am gonna try and play more of Civilization 3 in between my Turtle Wild games because I think it would be fun to just change it up every now and then. And obviously, I think people may enjoy it, may not enjoy it, but I certainly like to have a break every now and then in between WoW and playing something else just to keep my flow going in a way. You know, like just keep a ball rolling, but the ball is not going to crush me if I get too bored. Now, I'll never get bored of WoW because obviously playing it for 18 years, private server or retail, I still play the game as if like it's just came out that day, you know. It's just how I am. But with the Ryukyu Islands being taken, my friends, I will end off this episode for today. So if you did enjoy this small little conquest video on Civilization 3, please give it a like. Leave a comment if you want me to play any other country on this mod, or if there is a game that you would rather see me play. I will definitely try to make an effort to play it. I do have multiple mods. I have an Earth mod that's modded, so it definitely makes it a little bit more interesting, a little bit more realistic in a way. I do play that one and this one. I can play base game if people want to watch me play base game, but I find that very boring and very quick. I play the game very quickly. I can complete an entire game of Civilization 3 sitting down 7 hours straight. I can beat it start to finish, no problem. But that's really boring. Now mods like this is like a couple days worth, so it's definitely not something I can complete in just a few hours. But you know, I'll leave it up, and also to leave a subscribe. I'm trying to build this channel up. We got to get out there, friends, and I will be pressing down hard on that too, just to just so we can get out there. So yeah, leave a comment, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and to subscribe if you want to see more content from me, because I am definitely willing to play all of this stuff just so that we can get out there, right? We gotta get it out there. We gotta do it live, my friends. We gotta do it live. And until next time, guys. Good vibes. Watch funny videos. Enjoy life to the fullest. And until next time, guys. Peace out.